a lot of what we experience in life actually comes down to what's in our minds, both in terms of how we view the world and all the traumas that we've gathered over the years, all the baggage that we've got just sitting there in the depths of our minds. And that's usually what determines how we experience life. For me, I've got a lot of things which come out because they get triggered by something I see or something I hear. And those things that come out, they're emotional, they're linked to trauma that I've suffered previously. And I just come to see so clearly now how that's the stuff that really holds me back from being content in life and from getting to my goals even, because the self-doubt, the insecurity, the self-consciousness, or just the fear of failure, really, if you sum it all of this up, it comes from that baggage reacting to something that I'm seeing or hearing, and then creating emotional reactions, physiological reactions within me, which then just almost frees me at points, right? I'm unable to act. I'm unable to act on my impulses because I'm just frozen. And the more I practice this, the more I see how trapped I am in this kind of mind thinking, and that we all are, nearly all of us are. Because I used to think that actually I know myself quite well, I'm quite self-aware, and I don't have a lot of skeletons in my closet. But now that I'm actively practicing all of this, I see that I've got a lot more than I realized. And what I'm talking about is really, really subtle things. I'm not talking about how you might have something in your life that you're constantly thinking about and bothering you. The thing is, that's kind of easier to see because it's conscious, right? There's literally something worrying you and it's bothering you, and you know it's bothering you. I'm talking about something that's a lot more subtle than that. For example, you may have, like for example, for me, right? I went to salsa for half a year. This is years ago now. And I worked really, really hard. Initially, I went to salsa just to enjoy it. But after a while, in order to go to these salsa parties, and especially as a guy, you're leading the dance with the girl, you want to be trying different moves, you want to be doing different combinations. So I was, in a way, training to be better at this. And it became a little bit stressful at some points because I'd go to these dances and I just feel at times like a loser. I was just so bad at doing this compared to some of the other guys who'd been going for years. So you see, my mind was creating all these stories already, to the point where when I'd go to the salsa party, I just started being nervous as soon as I got there because I'm thinking, oh, now I've got to perform. And I haven't been salsa for years, but if I went again now, I'm pretty sure those thoughts and feelings would come back up. They would just get triggered by the situation. So that's what I'm talking about. It's not that there's something consciously bothering you, you're aware of it, you're just stressed about something. I'm talking about those subtle things that are right there in the depths of your mind that you don't really think about, but they're shaping how you behave, they're shaping how you interact with the world, and even how you feel on a moment-to-moment basis. So that's the work that I'm doing right now. So try and pinpoint what those things are for me, and then to not allow them to take over. So in the example of salsa again, when I go to a party, if I go to a salsa party now and these thoughts come up, can I operate in a way where I can let those thoughts go? It's almost a meditation. We're talking like a standing, living meditation, sort of sitting somewhere with your eyes closed. You're going about your day, going about your business, but just trying to be aware of how your mind works, and therefore how your mind and your deep thought patterns are shaping you, and whether you want to stick with that. Right? Not all your deep thought patterns are bad, but I know I've got a lot which I'd love to get rid of because they're just holding me back. They're just holding my confidence back. And the only way I've realized after so many years of trying various different things, the only real way is to just tackle them full on. You have to be able to step outside of your deep thought patterns. That's the only way you can get rid of them. You can replace thoughts with other thoughts for a while. Like for example, if I go rock climbing, I'm really focused on the climbing, and these thoughts aren't in my head, right? And that's why, by the way, we usually have a good time with activities like that, because our troubles, our life troubles aren't there in our head. We're just focused on what we're doing. And usually if you're just present in the moment and focused on what you're doing, you have a good time, whatever it is you're doing. It doesn't have to be rock climbing. But what if I'm not rock climbing? What if I'm at home? What if I'm in bed? What if I'm just walking down the street, right? These are the moments where my mind is constantly generating thoughts, as are all of our minds, right? It's those moments which I'm concerned about now. I want to be able to master my mind so that my mind is not going to capture me with these trauma-based thoughts, with these triggered insecurity thoughts. So that requires awareness of those thoughts. And that's where it requires being present in that moment on a continual basis throughout the day. It sounds a bit exhausting. And when I first thought about doing this, I thought, oh, this is going to be really tiring. I don't know if this is going to be possible. And to be honest, do I manage to stay present throughout the day? No, I don't. But it's not about being perfect. It's just about being consistent with it. So as long as I am mostly improving on a week-to-week basis, I'm happy with it. As in, I can tell that I'm less insecure, I have fewer concerns, I'm less trapped by the past, I'm more present, I'm more believing in myself, more confident, I'm feeling more content in the moment. If those measurements are improving week on week, then I think I'm doing all right. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent with it. And if you forget to do it for a while, doesn't matter. Once you remember, get back on it. That's a really important part of it, by the way, not blaming yourself or being too hard on yourself. Because you're trying to hack your own brain, which is really difficult. And most people probably wouldn't even try it, but if they did, it's just really, really hard. This is probably one of the hardest things you could do. At least for me, it's one of the hardest things I can do. But it's going to be so worth it, the results, if you can master your mind. If you can master your mind.